Welcome, everybody, to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast hosted by people who can have an adult and sensible conversation about to be.
Adult and sensible?
Isn't that right?
We can? Are you sure about that?
I don't
Listen, we're making false promises to start.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Hi, I'm Misfit, and I will absolutely be on time.
Hi, I'm Zoup. I was slightly more on time.
And I'm the one. I was here early because I've got nothing better to do in my life. Right, how's everybody? Let's get this, because we're gonna kind of put Zoup under the microscope a tiny bit here, so we might as well just go, awesome. How's everybody? And we'll start like pleasantly, and then it'll be right. Let's talk about motorboating.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think things are good. Shaking off the PAX U blues, post-con blues.
I can imagine.
Feel that.
And how's you, Misfit? You okay?
Yes. I am good. I have had a very busy week, so my brain is like.
Okay, so we'll just take a minute. We'll like hum a little song. You know, this is for you in the audience too. It just feel the tension dissipate. We're just chatting with friends. Nothing to think about right now.
God damn it. I wish for No Thoughts had empty sort of day.
No, just let it go for right now. You can worry about it in like an hour. But for now,
in an hour.
Head empty.
Okay, so before we do kind of empty our heads and whatnot, so talk to us about motorboating.
Listen, okay. So
the people want to hear this. This isn't just me.
Okay. So the thing about PAX U is obviously it's a different experience when you are just a gamer. Like, I don't know the other people that go to PAX U, like what is their draw? I just know like what is the draw as an AP person. And as an AP person, you know, one of the big draws is that, like, you know, PAX in general is a big gaming convention. Now it's, you know, mostly centered on video games, and Unplugged means that we're taking the spotlight away from video games, and we're doing board games, and now it has blossomed to include TTRPGs and APs, even though APs require that you be plugged into something. But you know, we're not going to worry about that distinction. But it's I think one of the two conventions that AP people have as a whole sort of agreed upon that these are our meeting places. It's Gen Con and PAX U. You know, like PAX East, PAX West, those ones are like a little bit in there, but like these are the two that is like, if you're going to go to one of those two. Big Bad was like super AP when that was happening, but you know, God knows if it's ever going to happen again after everything, all the shenanigans from last year. But in any case, so you know, when you're part of the AP space and you go to PAX U, there are all of these parties that are happening starting on Thursday. And then, you know, there's LobbyCon as well, which is after the floor closes, people start, you know, we'll have various events, and then people will start getting together in the Marriott lobby. But in one of the on Thursday, there was something at Queen and Rook. And then someone was like, oh, there's this gay bar at 254 that, like, we won't let them know that we're coming, but we will all just show up. And like literally like at one point I saw one of the security guys like let someone in and then was like, what is going on? Why are you all here? Like, why are there so many of you? Where did you come from? So nobody warned them that this was going to be a super busy Thursday. But in any case, I see Misfit. I see a lot of people, but Misfit is one of the people. And okay, like in my defense, the boobs were there, and she was wearing high heels, so like high boots. And I am a short goblin. So the boobs were directly at eye line for me.
Yeah, they were.
See, that's a bit of information that was omitted.
Yeah.
The height difference was not mentioned.
I thought I
Now
talked
I'm
about
seeing
that.
it as
Sorry.
No.
So the boobs
story
were
was
essentially at eye level, or like just below eye level. So like if I did like the normal, just like looking down for a second, they were like right there. And it was like 10 times, I think, I like glanced over and was like boobs, and like in my head, like, you know, as like a totally like, I'm totally adult about things. I'm just like, oh, motorboating, which by the way, I have never motorboated someone before, but I'm just like, you know, that's it's, you know, like there's a certain quality you need to motorboat, which I don't think that mine have that quality of like shaped together, and like it's hard to explain. But like after like the 10th time, I like snuck over to Misfit and like whispered in their ear, and I was like, yeah, just every time I see you, it's just like motorboat comes to my head. Like, yeah. And I'm like, and I acknowledge 100% I have like short girl privilege in that I can say these things and not immediately be kicked out of the club as a creep.
fair.
Which I admit is a privilege that is like, when I think about would I want to be a man, one of the things I think about is no, I wouldn't, because then I wouldn't be able to tell women that I want to motorboat them and have them receive that as a compliment, is something that really you can only do as a woman, and even more so as a small woman.
Yeah, as a man, I can attest that we cannot do these things.
You can't do it. You have to keep those thoughts to yourself.
Not that I spend my life sitting in darkness saying, God damn, I wish I could just
neither do I. I mean, like, you have
not
to really
crossing
be
my mind on a day-to-day basis.
And I will say, I do not regularly go around telling women this. It was
I'm for sure, like, I believe that there was a comfortability because, you know, we're co-hosts, shit like that.
Like, yes, obviously, if we hadn't worked together on FOMOCon, if we hadn't, you know, been talking on this thing, like there is a relationship already built in there, that there was a part of me that was like, I think they will receive this as a compliment. So you need to have that, not like that level of relationship. So like, you know, there are people that I could not go to and say that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I will say in your defense, Misfit omitted the height difference, because to be fair, every time you approach Misfit, they were kind of there. I mean,
they were
very
full out. I saw a picture of myself from that night, and I was like, oh, I totally get it now. It's huge.
Like, yeah, like I could have taken a picture and like, you know, really really redeemed myself. But it is I will say, I will take getting 70 cents on the dollar for the ability to say to another woman that her tits are motorboatable and like not have that be an upsetting thing for her.
Nope.
Yeah,
Not at all.
it's very different coming out of your mouth than it is
Yeah.
coming out of, you know,
100%.
a male
100%.
mouth, because
Know your audience.
you know. And again, it's not one of these things that I sit at home going, you know, I've got all these male privileges except for this one thing. But now it's
like I assume that there are, like, if you were a man, there are man friends that you can have, that you would have the comfortability that you could like cup their junk and be like, and like have that be acceptable as like a man-to-man friendship thing, and I will never have that experience. So
I mean, yes, I will say that I do have some very close friends, which who I will say certain things to, and it's awkward for them, funny for me. But again, these are friends. These aren't. I
Yeah.
do not walk up to.
I
I don't know
will-
what to
I will
walk up to
say-
some random bloke on the street and go, "Can I grab him?" You know,
yeah,
it's, you know,
Like a
exactly,
handful?
exactly. You wouldn't do it. I mean, like, my partner definitely has the relationship with his best friend where, like, they will talk about sleeping together. And at first, I was like super concerned. I was like, do you need to, like, if this is something that you need to explore, like, if you both agree to it, like, you should probably get that out of your system, because I kind of want to be your one and only. I'm more of a monogamist, looking for a monogamous relationship. So if you like need to figure that out, and like, but it became very clear after a while that this is just how they talk to each other. They're like that close, and like,
yeah, you know what they say. You don't want too many cocks in the chicken coop.
what could that possibly mean?
As in, like,
We'll
cocks as
just
male
we're gonna leave.
roosters?
Wait, cocks or cups? I heard you don't want too many cups in the chicken roost, and I was like, I don't know what that could possibly mean.
Well, I think it's safe to kind of move on, and we can go to how was your PAX U experience?
How was mine?
Yeah, I mean, because
Oh,
we spoke
it
last
was-
week about Misfits PAX U
it
experience,
was
so you know.
Amazing. So I will say, I definitely went with the fear that I would find myself in situations where I felt less than. I was very afraid that I would like end up in situations where I would be like, nobody wants to talk to me. Why don't I have as many friends as other people do? Why don't I have better connections already? And all of that. And it's like, God bless my brain. I say that very infrequently. It's more like, oh, you little fucker, to my brain. But God bless my brain. My brain managed to do this thing where it was just really happy with the people that I knew, and like the responses that I'd get to like people seeing me, and like understanding. And I heard some people complaining, and I found this very interesting. They were like, oh, it was very clicky at PAX U. And anyone who says that it was very clicky, I challenge that, because what I realized is that like we form, as people who do APs, we form these really close connections with each other,
Mhm.
and we're far away from each other. And like, and you think, oh, you're just playing characters, how are you forming close connections? But like, playing characters, you still learn so much about the other person when they're playing a character that they have created themselves. You learn things about them, like how they process emotions, how they choose to have their characters process emotions tells you something about them. What their characters find funny tells you something about them, because you can't stop being you. when
Yeah.
you are playing a character.
But I will interject here and just add that that's a really weird take for me. You know,
Really?
to kind of go, how are you friends because you are only playing characters? Yeah,
If
but
anyone
meet
says
each other
that,
outside of the game.
yeah,
Mhm.
I
and
haven't
then there's
met-
that. But like, yeah, but I'm saying like
I
even
didn't meet
if
Misfit as Banshee. I didn't meet Misfit as what was the character out of Call of Cthulhu?
Oh, are you talking about
Brittany.
Brittany?
Yeah, I mean,
well,
met Misfit as Misfit, and then we kind of went, right, we're chatting, this, that, and the other. We start to play a game, and we are our characters now. So
Well,
it's
so
a weird thing for people to kind of misunderstand that for me.
well, I like for example, Casper. Casper, I had only met playing a character, Renu, and we had recently met, so we didn't talk that much, like, you know, outside of the game. We had only met, but I really appreciated Casper's willingness, because I was like, because Quinn wanted us all our characters to have a history with each other, because it was a one shot, but she wanted us to have like close connections that could be explored in this one
Mhm.
shot. And so I came in and I was like, Casper, your character is my ex. So and so, my character followed you, and because I was following your orders, my character died because she was a cat with 9 lives. And like, your character helped train me in the most recent mission, which then you heard that she died because she was on her 9th life. And Casper's character was Encore was just like, they immediately, it was so cool. Casper was like, yes, I'm into that. I'm gonna play into that.
Mhm.
And so, you know, even though we hadn't talked to each other outside of game, there was still, I already had this deepest appreciation for this person, that they decided, I'm going to take what you're giving me and I'm going to amp it up a notch. And like, so now this is a person that I want to get to know.
Mhm. Well, actually, I want to with the clicky comment. I thought it's really interesting hearing that, cuz like I sat my little butt on Saturday in like the central of LobbyCon, and I had so many people just come up to me because they didn't know who I was. So
Right.
like I don't understand, like I understand hanging out with the people that you game with because there is a connection there. There is
a
a
connection.
closeness. Especially like the people I game with, because like I tell really dark, deep dark stories. So like all of the people who I game with know some of like my past history and my traumas. So like they understand that. And there is a comfortability hanging out with them. But I made sure, and I think this goes for other people, like did you actually like try to meet new people and try to
Yeah.
like integrate outside
Right.
of your own group? Did you
And
make that
yeah,
effort?
if we get back to that, so my point being that like,
Sorry.
these people, no, it's my fault. I drifted off onto a different topic, but like,
just thinking about motorboating and just went,
yeah,
you know, just
but,
went off
like,
topic. And
there you can go to PAX U for networking, but I
Mhm.
think a lot of the AP people go to PAX U with the idea, I'm going to see my like, this is summer camp. So
Mhm.
it's not that they're cliquey, it's just that they're seeing these people that they love so much, like once or twice a year. And like, how can you stop touching and like being next to somebody that you love and you never get to see? Like, think about
And
like when
also,
I go and see my best friend, like, of course we're like attached at the hip. So it's not a clickiness, it's just, you have to understand that there's going to be a certain amount of networking, sure, but there's also so much of a, I need to touch you, this person that I love and I don't get to see. And so I reject claims of clickiness.
as somebody who deals a lot with the public, and who is an introvert at the same time, I kind of see a lot of comments when it comes out, when you hear the comments about a gathering of people or a group of people, this, that, and the other, and the clicky comes in. A lot of times, I'm not saying this is every time, but a lot of times it comes from a point of entitlement. Because I am a person who, if I choose to whether I want to be sociable or not, I will be happily sit in a party of 1,000 people, and I will sit on my own in a corner, and I will be happy. Leave me the fuck alone. But then if I want to, I can quite easily turn that switch on and I can start engaging. When a lot of times when I hear, oh, I went to this and it was clicky and I had this experience and it was very clicky, it's like, did you put any effort into building that bridge? Because if you didn't, then you're expecting everyone around you to build the bridge for you.
Right.
And that is an entitled position to be in.
And the other thing is that so many people are like really there's a lot of people in this space that are really socially anxious. That is the other thing that I saw was like message after message, like tweet or not tweets. What are they called now? Threads, post after post of people being like, "Oh my god, I was so nervous. I was so nervous." And like, oh, I got over it, or I didn't get over it. I didn't talk to so and so because I was so intimidated. And I'm like, that sounds like a skill issue. Like, put that to the side. Like, know that like literally everybody feels the same way. Like, there is one person, I'm not going to name names, but like multiple people too afraid to talk to her because she is so cool and like has so many close relationships. At the same time, you talk to her and she's like, I'm not getting invited to games. Like, please invite me. I was like, what kind of game do you want me to invite you to? So that like, I make sure that I'm only coming to you with stuff that you're interested in. And she's like, yes, please. Yes. Whatever it is. Yes.
I think more people need to be aware of what kind of games they want to play, because as soon as I was like, I want to tell dark stories for the ugly side of life, because that is what I enjoy. That's what I've experienced. I kind of want to like go through those traumas and have cathartic experiences. And I know that sounds crazy, but like it works, y'all. Try it. Try it at least once. When I came out and was like, hey, I want to tell dark, sad, tragic stories, all of a sudden I got a flood of people who were like, please be in my AP. Please bring that energy to my game. Please help me make people cry. And I was like, cool, bet, I got you. And now I do that. And like, life is a lot better. So I think a lot of people really need to start really, really deeply thinking about the kind of stories they want to tell and what kind of settings they want to be in. Do you want to be in high fantasy? Do you want to be in gritty reality? Do you want to like science fiction? Where do you fall?
I was going around and I was getting that information specifically, especially from like BIPOC folk, you know, to start out with, because there was only so much time. And it took me a long time to find a notebook. So I only had a notebook for the last night. But just getting that information from people, because I don't want to come to Misfit and say, oh, I want to play a lighthearted game of 16 Mice Make Soup, when I could invite her to a game that is like vampires and VTM. The sun never... Well, no. Vampire VTM scares the shit out of me. Vampires, but the sun never sets.
Yeah.
The sun has suddenly... The world has stopped turning and there is now no more darkness.
See, yeah, like I would be much more interested in that.
Have you just created yourself a setting? Have you just like pulled out a setting out of your ass and just gone, there you go,
this is what we're doing.
That sounds something I could work with. That sounds like a story I could work with.
The moon doesn't rotate. The side that is facing the sun always faces the sun.
That's wild.
Interesting.
Wait, is that true? I think that's
Yeah,
true.
that's.
I'm
What's
gonna go
that?
check
Sorry.
if that's true.
I thought you were talking about your setting again. I didn't know you were talking science fact. This is the wrong podcast for that.
Does the moon rotate?
We know that the go around
Technically,
the
yes, the
sun
moon
and that's
rotates,
about
but the sun rotates
Oh!
around the moon.
yes, the moon does rotate around the Earth.
Yeah, the moon
rotates around,
rotates
yeah.
on its axis, but it does so at the same speed it orbits the Earth,
Mhm.
which is why we always see the same side.
So, okay, so
Weird.
this is an interesting comment. Misfit likes a game with some dark storytelling and character stories. Might have a game for you.
Tell me more.
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Yes, and it
Okay,
is
so
very
the
much
far
like
side of the
pitch
moon is
black.
not the dark side of the moon. It does get
Mm-mm.
sun. It's just we only see the same face of the moon. Interesting. That's so cool.
It would be more like a place like where, okay, you know how the Arctic experiences like solar nights where they see the sun constantly, like 24 hours a day. It'd be something like that. That would be wild.
Yeah, except it's
There
gonna
was a
be the opposite.
There was a
It's
movie
pitch
with that.
black,
There was a
but
movie
it's
with
the
that
opposite.
premise.
Yeah, pitch black.
Yeah,
No,
Pitch
but
Black with
there
Vin
was a
Diesel.
vampire movie.
Oh,
No, vampire
Daybreakers?
movie as well. Was it
No.
Daybreak? No, wasn't
No, it
Daybreak.
wasn't
No, it
Daybreakers.
wasn't Daybreakers.
I've seen so much vampire
Let
movie, it's
me-
ridiculous.
Wait,
Yeah,
I
there
did actually play in a game. Grant ran an episode of Game Master Monday. I'm like, oh, I'm a genius over here. No, Grant ran a game of Game Master Monday where someone stole the moon, and so that it never turned night.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and we were vampires.
Yes.
I think
We
I
ended
think
up
the movie
we ended
it
up
talked
eating
about-
frat boys with breadsticks.
Hell yeah. I support those.
All right, so the movie I'm talking about is called 30 Days of Night.
Oh yes.
Um,
We've also seen that. It's been a while though. It's been a while.
yeah, it's been, yeah. I don't recall it being very good. It was all right, but yeah,
It's a gore film. Lots of
yeah.
blood. Lots of blood and snow. If I remember
So
correctly.
while we're on to the topic of blood and not so much snow, but blood and gore, etc., we have kind of touched on this topic quite a bit throughout many of our conversations, but we've never really stopped to kind of examine it and delve in. So let's talk about safety.
Cool.
In blood and gore, it takes a lot. I am a big preacher of safety tools when you tell horror stories. Like when you tell anything that is sad, tragic, horror related, it touches on like the dark and weird. I am a big person about safety tools because you can really hurt somebody in the worst ways if you're not careful. And that's one of those tables where I will always be like, hey, kind of invite people that you are very comfortable with because you're about to touch on some really dark subjects.
Yeah.
So,
Safety
Are
tools.
there any specific safety tools that you would like to use? Any that you use, or any techniques that you use? Because obviously everybody's going to approach these things differently.
So for me, when I do stuff like that, I like to have first and foremost trust at the table. So like if you're pulling just a group of people together who've maybe played one or two games together, I would start with like a trust exercise. And I know that sounds crazy,
Okay.
but it really helps because when you have trust at a table and you're telling those kind of hard stories, at the end you can kind of unwind a little bit and like calm down and be like, oh hey, we're all friends, I can safely talk about my feelings from X, Y, and Z situation.
So what would a trust exercise be?
In this case, I do stuff like keeping secrets. I know that sounds crazy because like you're supposed to build trust, but like keeping a secret is how people build trust.
Okay. You're gonna have to.
I know that one's wild.
Yeah, we're gonna
it's
need a
hard.
bit more.
It's hard.
Like you're gonna have to explain how that works. Yeah.
So
yeah,
like,
so imagine we are about to start a game. You want to do this exercise. How would we go about it?
So before game, let's say I tell Zoup, hey, I have a fear of blah blah blah. Insert whatever you want. Like, let's say it's a fear of deep water. In game, if we come up to a situation where there's deep water involved, I hope her character or their character would be like, oh hey, let's come over here, let's hang out, let's talk while we get past this hard situation for you, without revealing it to the rest of the table. And then afterwards you go, hey table, I really appreciate Zope's character for keeping this secret while still comforting me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But how do you do that as an exercise before the game starts?
Yeah.
Oh, that's usually like before the game.
Oh, okay.
I usually do like little in-character exercises before the game. That way people get comfortable with their characters and they get comfortable with what people are afraid of.
I mean, because I have seen a lot of forms. The
safety sheets are always a good idea. Like always, that should be something that's implemented at all tables.
I mean, I haven't done it at my personal tables because I know the people I'm playing with. Although when we didn't start Impossible Landscapes, it was you guys are going to have to be very specific if there's anything that bothers you, because we're going to touch on a lot. And this particular operation, you know, it can be quite traumatic. So I did actually use safety tools for that.
Yeah, safety tools are extremely important to me because I have no lines and veils.
Same.
So I think I've talked about this before, but basically I can't picture anything in my head. So if you describe, I have aphantasia. So if you describe like a particularly gory scene to me, it doesn't do anything to me because I'm not picturing it.
Yeah.
So like if and honestly, like in movies and stuff, it doesn't, like sometimes I'll be like, oh, like, but yeah, it's really hard for me to imagine things. So if you describe something really gross, it's not going to squick me out because I don't picture it. Like, and I know that there are people who picture everything in vivid detail. So like, you know, for them, for something that like if someone describes something really gory, I'm just like do while the other person is like full on picturing it.
Yeah.
And like I do have to put work into like really thinking about, oh, what would it feel like for that thing to happen to me. But I also, you know, is it a lack of appropriate traumas or inappropriate traumas, like whatever you want to say? Like I don't know what it is that I just don't really, nothing really bothers me that much. Like I know that I
would say that that's a superpower.
Right. I guess so. But what that means is I need safety tools to make sure I respect anybody else's triggers. Because especially because I don't necessarily know, like, if I try really hard, I can kind of like picture what it would be like to be like deeply affected by like something going on in game. But because I don't know, I need to be even more careful to make sure I don't touch other people's triggers.
Yeah, I can agree with that because I'm very much the same. For me, it's not a case of not being able to imagine things. It's for me, it's a case of I can compartmentalize quite easily, and I can switch certain triggers off and go, okay, we're playing a game. So
Yeah.
everything within this frame is a game. It's part of the game. So even if there are things, don't get me wrong, that do affect me on a visceral level, but at the same time, when I'm playing a game, my mind kind of switches. So okay, so it's like, you know, when I tell my kids if we're watching something that's quite scary, a lot of times it's like, okay, this isn't real. We need to remember this isn't real, and it can't, you know, do the things that you're seeing cannot immediately happen.
So
I have an
as the
very
like super visual girly at the table here,
Yeah.
I imagine everything in quite gruesome, gritty detail. And sometimes it does get to me. Like sometimes there's those moments where I'm like, okay, this is really, really real. Like, oh, can we have a moment? Can I have a moment to like breathe and do some like finger touch exercises to remember that I am in reality, that this is a game, that I'm not, none of this is actively happening to me. And that's another thing that you could absolutely do. If you see a player who's starting to get like lock up and overwhelmed, have them do basic like anxiety grounding exercises.
Yeah.
So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and like breathe through it. The other thing that I implement a lot at horror tables and like adult themed tables, because I do play at those, I had one the other week where like this scene was probably going to go a little spicy, and I stopped the whole table and I was like, how does everyone feel about this? Because this is something we never talked about in session 0. So I want to make sure that if this scene gets a little spicy, that it's not going to like make anyone uncomfortable or set anyone off in a weird way, because like spicy in the bad way, spicy not in the fun way.
Spicy is also I
wanted to-
actually don't think that we always just say there's like fade to black at various points, and I'm like, you know, if it goes in that direction, I definitely would want people to use the safety tools of like, you know, safe words and like you know, green, yellow, red, because like to me it's like it's all fine. And so I need to know where like other people's
lines are,
boundaries
for sure.
are, like what exactly is making what gets to the point where they're uncomfortable, so that I don't cross that.
Yeah. That's why like I'm a full believer in like pause the table for a sec. Let's figure out where everybody is at, and if we can push the scene further, or if we need to like back off, we can do a fade to black or something.
Yeah.
I think you have touched on something that is quite important to remember, that as much as it is a responsibility of the GM to kind of maintain the safety and to kind of ensure the safety of the players, each player also has a personal responsibility for their own safety. You know, they have to be able to say, I'm not comfortable with this.
For sure.
You know, in any way, whether it's X cards or any system that you can have available to kind of go, yeah, I'm sorry, but this is a bit too much for me. And to be completely about it and have the ability to kind of walk away.
Yeah. The other thing I would want to point out is just because you bork something up once doesn't mean that it's a learning experience. And like, don't like now cast yourself as the role of like, oh, I don't like just use things as a learning experience. Like I can think of, I had one in a home game, one experience where someone cited like, this is going against my lines and veils, and I was actually offended at the time because I was like, this was not my intention. Like the way you're reading the situation is not the way that I'm reading the situation. So like, I'm offended that you're putting your reading of the situation on me. And like, I could decide that that defines me, and like, so now I can just like say fuck all to everybody, but instead just use it as a learning opportunity to be a better person in the future.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing. I think knowing when to use these experiences in order to grow and to kind of go, yeah, I kind of fucked that up, didn't I? And I've had nearly 10 years experience GMing, and I've not always made the right choices. I've not always made the right decisions. To be honest, that's not only in the GM space, in my life, I've, said things and done things and etc., which I am no longer proud of or never, but you grow, you learn, you improve, we're all a work in progress.
Yes, agreed. I think there is, especially when you're telling like dark, creepy stories and like traumatic stories, there is a point where inevitably, and I hate saying this, but it's the truth, and I want people to go into those sort of spaces knowing that it's going to happen. Your boundary will be pushed at least once, and it is totally okay to, as a player, to stop, like hard stop, and tell and be like, hey, I can't go there. Can we like fade to black? Can I have a minute? Can I walk away from the table?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, the immersion in these games is massively important, but it's not more important than your safety or your well-being.
And it's
break the
important
immersion
to know,
and just kind of go, whoa, stop.
Yeah, it's also important to know how invested your players are in whatever story. So I played, or I ran a game, again, this was a home game, and for most of the players it was extremely casual. And then I had one player who was just like deeply invested in exploring trauma. And that ended up being really tough. And because I didn't do a good job of saying to this player, listen, I don't think anybody else is here to explore trauma to that extent, the game ended up falling apart because everybody was so stressed. But there were like, you need to know how invested, as a GM, you need to know how invested your players are, so that if you need to say to one player, listen, we can't go where you want to go with this, you need to be able to tell them that. And clearly too, because they sent me a message. She sent me a message and she was like, I want this to happen. And I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that right now. And I did not clarify to her that I did not want it coming in the game later. So she pulled it in later.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's
sketch
and hard to deal with.
Dealing with the amount of people I deal with on a daily basis, you learn that an awkward conversation now saves you time and trouble in the future. So you have those awkward conversations. Have those conversations where you have to turn around and kind of go, "This isn't coming in. This isn't coming in because of this reason," and there is no wiggle room. Because the moment you give someone that inch of wiggle room, they're either going to start asking again, or they're going to do what happened in your game, unfortunately, and just railroad it.
Just throw it in there. Yeah. The other thing I would say is, as a player, also pay attention to like if someone is pitching a game and if you are responding to a casting call, pay attention to what the triggers are. Because I have also been in games where I went into it being promised that there were going to be really, like, it was going to be a lot of horror. And then the problem is that some of the other players that were accepted were like, I'm uncomfortable with X, Y, and Z, and somebody else was uncomfortable with A, B, and C, and somebody else was uncomfortable with L, M, and N. And all of a sudden, none of what I was there to experience happened. Because
that sucks.
Because the GM was respecting, everybody's level of comfort. But it's okay. Like, you don't have to be in every game. If this game is offering something that you don't want, it's okay to sit out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but the flip side of that is when the advertisement happens, it has to be very specific.
Yes, 100%.
Usually, like a lot of the casting calls I've responded to in the past had those like in the casting call, like right at the very top, like you will experience X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely is something that has to be in place. Because if someone signs up for it, they are kind of soft agreeing to these terms and conditions. So in this game, there's going to be gore, there's going to be spicy content, there's going to etc. So if you agree to be in that game, you are in part agreeing to these sort of topics. I think we lost Zoup there for a second.
No, because I was gonna be like, Zoup, if you want to be in a horror game, I will put you in one. Don't you worry. And it will be a proper horror game with lots of spooks.
Oh yeah, we're meant to be setting up some Delta Green shenanigans, aren't we?
Yeah, let's go. Delta Green is awesome.
That's on the to-do list. There she comes. There she is.
Well,
I pressed the button by mistake.
Oh, it's okay. I was gonna say, if you want to be in a horror game and actually experience like some serious horror, I got you, boo.
Yeah, no, definitely throw it at me. I'm still waiting for someone. Okay, so this is the other thing. So if you join a game and you say, I'm okay with X, Y, and Z, and you think that you are okay with X, Y, and Z, and then in the middle of the game you discover that you are not okay with X, Y, and Z. I want to be clear that I am not saying that you can't speak up then. Please speak up. It's more the problem 100%. if they're like drowning is a possibility and you're like, I know I'm not okay with drowning, but I'm still going to sign up for this game. Like, that's what I'm saying. But if you're like, oh yeah, I'm okay with drowning, and then like you get halfway through and they're describing something and you're like, oh wait, no. Like, that's, say it. Say it,
please.
Because don't make that like a new trauma for yourself. Like, it's okay.
That's another point that people need to be aware of. The intensity and the ability of each GM to portray a situation and to describe a situation and bring that situation to life varies massively. You can have a GM who can just go and say something about, a bad situation, because I don't want to have to put trigger warnings on the
yeah, exactly. I've been trying to control
like
that.
a bad situation, and they can just kind of gloss over it. Where most players will just kind of go, okay, that's fine. But then you're going to get people who are very good storytellers and very good narrators who will be able to kind of pull you in and make you feel these things that you probably didn't expect to feel before.
Listen, all right. So, Michael Diamond from the old ways, when I joined one of his home games, uh, homie made me cry like 15 minutes in. Like tears streaming down my face, and it was all like I wanted that. I was like, I literally went into that game and I was like, fuck me up, fam. He was like, okay, bet. And I was like 15 minutes in, just tears coming down my face because of how descriptive everything was. And it was awesome. It was exactly the level of intensity that I wanted out of a game. And I've had other, like my other ST for Vampire with No Name has caused me to like cry a couple times. So like that doesn't bother me.
About the reason I ask is because I will often cry with happiness, like that things resolved in a certain way, and I'm so happy that everyone's so touched, and like, you know, things are working out and all of that. That's what I'll cry. But like, I've never like cried in like horror or sadness.
Oh, this was like sheer fucking sadness. I can't go into the details of it because it again,
Spoilers.
trigger warnings.
Yeah.
No. It would give this episode trigger warnings for sure.
Fair enough.
But make me cry, I dare you.
It was sadness. It was actual tears of like, oh my god, I am truly experiencing my character's emotions, and it was so cool. It was such an experience. Yeah, I'm about it. I love that shit. That's when I play these like tragic ass games for him. Like, yeah, let me get out all these emotions in like the most cathartic way possible. Because like afterwards, after the session, he was like, "Are you good? Do you need time? Like, let's talk and unwind." And like that's what a good, if you have someone who is pushing you to those levels, and then after the session, they don't like, you're not just sitting at the table like bullshitting and like talking about it and like having an unwind. Try implementing that because it's really helpful.
Just to explain to you how hard it is how hard it is to find a line or veil for me is a dear pet of mine. This is I don't think you're gonna need trigger warnings for this, but the love of my life, my cat, had passed. And 2 days later, I was playing in a game and a sick and dying pet was a part of the game. And I was super into it. Like I guess I did cry then because it was very cathartic. So maybe I'm lying when I say I haven't cried, but like it was that real to me, and I was like in for it. So I don't know that I have any lines and veils. If you can find it, I will give you $1,000.
Okay, so we're setting up a game. I'm gonna push those fucking boundaries.
Yes, push it, find it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
There's a grand involved.
We'll make it happen. Let's
Just
get
be
you
an
into some
entire
board
game.
games.
Just let's push Zoup's boundaries as much as possible. I want a grand.
See if you can find that.
Christmas is coming up. It's nothing personal. It's just the money.
That's awful. Zoup, we're gonna make you cry.
Zoup, we're gonna traumatize you because we want money. I could be a good CEO.
I'm not.
I'll make sure it's not in the edited version.
Perfect.
The which one is not in the edited version?
The echo.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'm just gonna monitor because I can hear myself through somebody else, and I don't know who it is. But anyway,
I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk, and I'm gonna talk, and I'm gonna talk, and I'm gonna talk.
Well, there's no echo, so I don't think it's you.
I'm not the problem child for once.
All right. So yeah, you kind of brought it on to after the game. So what do we do after the game? Because I mean, I agree that it is good to decompress and it is good to kind of discuss the things that we've encountered. Some people do stars and veils.
Yeah, we do. So we do is RPXP, where everyone gives an XP point to someone else who did really good roleplay or like did something cool with an ability. So like, for example, Zoup, I would give you my RPXP for not having any lines and veils. Like for having a superpower of not being able to visualize in your brain.
There's a grand that says otherwise.
And then, you know, we'll just kind of like chit chat and talk about our favorite moments, or like there was a moment in Vampire with No Name where one of the sessions my character gets royally fucked up. I mean, like, eek. I can't say anything because it's like super duper spoilerly, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But it was pretty rough, and like that whole week afterwards, everyone checked in on me. Like it was just a quick either like in our server or like a direct message to me like, hey, are you doing okay? How are you doing? And like it fucked me up so bad that like when I get character bleed, I do a couple of things where I'm feeling those emotions pretty intensely. I will draw it out. So like I'll sit down and I'll do some art. I'll write it out. So I will sit down and like write in my character's voice. And I'll do it that way, and it'll get all those out. Or I will message the people at the table or my favorite person or the ST or whomever and be like, hey, can we just like jump into a call and like chat for a minute, because I'm deep in my feels right now. And when I say my feels, I mean my character's feels, and I don't know how to process those. So that's what I do.
Posting a link to Vampire with No Name. So that's what I do. So what about your games, Zoup?
I'm trying to think. I feel like so the thing is I am much better with like slapstick comedy than like really deep stuff. I have as a player had a couple, like maybe one or two deep things. The deepest, like the character with the most trauma, it still hasn't come out yet. We'll be lucky if it comes out before 2027. So definitely still an echo.
We're wrapping up in a second, so it's
okay. All right. But I have discovered like I'm much better at the slapstick comedy. So I'll tell you what, I think one of the things that I want to do in this next year, maybe on Game Master Monday, is do something dark, and I'll let you know how I dealt with it after that.
Put me in, coach. Let me make people cry. I love that.
All right, and I think on that note, that's pretty much about all we've got kind of time for tonight.
Awesome! You want to make me? You want me to leave off on let me make people cry? Love that. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that might even be the episode title. I haven't decided yet. It's gonna be. It's
not motorboating.
Triggers.
Motorboat 2, the Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, I've got a few in store. All right, so you guys have been very busy, and I'm pretty sure. So you've got pretty much a lot to kind of put out there. So now's the time. Tell us what you're working on, tell us where you can find it, and who wants to go first? Ain't gonna be me because I got fuck all going on.
Misfit, you go first.
Okay, hi, I'm Misfit Playland. It's like Misfit_Playland, just about everywhere on the internet. I'm most active on Threads and Blue Sky. I also play Aster Nolan in Vampire with No Name. Please go check it out. Let me know how you feel. There is a set of dice for anybody who can figure out Aster's big trigger phrase. It is a phrase that makes me absolutely feral. Every time, just makes me completely feral. I am also now officially out and announced a cast member of the Old Ways. I am playing in their mage game, so Mage the Ascension, the Great Beyond. I will be in the latter half of season 2 and all of season 3. I love my character; she's great. On the Old Ways, speaking of, Zoup and I will be playing some Star Wars for Feed America this Friday. So come out and join us for that. It'll be super fun.
I think I'm an outlaw tech.
I'm an explorer.
Interesting. So yeah, I've posted both the links below. So
it's pre-gen characters, and I'm very excited because it's always fun for me to take pre-gen characters and put my own spin on them.
Same.
Yeah, that's always a good laugh. I always enjoy doing that.
And that's me.
So Zoup, what are you? Zoup, what are you working on?
I'm Zoup. My mom calls me Supriya. You can find me as Zoup Machine on the web. Let's see, what do we got going on? Alternating Mondays on D&D with D. I'm playing in a high-level D&D campaign. As 8 levels of cleric and 8 levels of rogue, I think. Yeah, it's been a little while since we played that. It's been a month. So but it's tomorrow. Beyond that, Game Master Monday, we just finished releasing our mini series, American Demigods, where I use a Demigods system, which is a PBTA system, to tell a story about a bunch of North American demigods trying to find democracy. And on the 14th, we will be having our talk back. So listen to that series. I really love the characters. And then the talk back is on the 14th at 3 p.m. EST on Game Master Monday. We will also be having coming out not this Monday but next Monday Yuletide Combat Family, where I run a bunch of the Game Master Monday clan through Tim Platt's Yuletide combat family with my own spin on it. It is slapstick and great, and I love it so much. In the upcoming year, on the fourth Monday of the month, I will be being a part of, and for the first 3 months, GMing Queer and Quozy on Imagine If.
Ooh.
And I believe on a couple Fridays, we're going to be doing some indie game. Mika's going to be running it. That's what I can remember right now. I think there are other things, but I'll tell you about them next week.
All right, I've been trying to catch up, like keep up with everybody, putting the links below. But imagine if I could not find a link, but I will do my homework and get that ready for next week.
Okay.
As for me, you can find me at Natural Juan on most of the social media sites. I'm not as active as I used to be because, I can't be bothered. But if you do catch me on there, just, give me a shout out, say hello. If you want to catch up with the show and more of what we do, check us out at toologit2crit.com. As well, you can contact us at contact@toologit2crit.com. And, even if it's just to say hello and, give us some feedback of the show, by all means, leave comments. If you like the show, if you've got anything to add, if you dislike the show, I'll probably delete them. But just, add all comments and, any feedback we really appreciate. And hit that like button because that kind of keeps the lights on around these parts. I want to say thank you to my wonderful co-host for joining me and chatting about our favorite hobby this evening. I also want to thank Dungeon Maestro for the use of our theme tune, all that jazz. Go out and check their stuff on YouTube. They're absolutely fantastic. And I want to thank everyone who joined us in chat live because, without you guys, without your input, we wouldn't be able to make this show what it currently is. And most importantly of all, I want to thank everyone who's taken time out of their busy day to listen to us waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much, and good night.